Sometimes you just see people who just take life for granted. Religious brainwashing. Too much of it in our time, especially with all the TVs and the satellites and so on and so forth. Another moral challenge we have these days is the craving to travel, to go abroad at all costs. It's immoral. People are changing their names, changing their age, moving from one passport to the other, lining up, marrying when they shouldn't marry. People are marrying their grandmother to get visa. Some allow drug dealers to use them because they want to go abroad. They ship them with the drug. They must travel. Go to the embassies. It's pathetic. They sleep there for 1 week. No, 7 months looking for visa. And that's because somehow they are just deceived to think that if they stay in their own country, they won't prosper. Another immoral act, laziness. Many people are lazy these days, don't want to work. Impatience. We want everything quickly. Number 20, moral challenge, unhealthy alliances. Unhealthy alliances. When you just have alliances and friendships that you know will not promote your godliness. May God help us to start choosing godly friends. Not just friends who will give us success and friends who will make our business work, but friends who will make us holy and pure. And the effects of the immorality is that number 1, imprisonment is on the increase. Number 2, abortions are on the increase. Number 3, there's mass backsliding. Number 4, we are losing a generation through pollution. Number 5, there is the spreading of disease. Many married people will tell you they get infections, they don't know where it came from. The wind blow it where it least deaf. You hear the sound thereof, but you cannot tell. Women all of a sudden especially have infections. The men go and do whatever they want. And because they are external beings, they get away with it for some time. But the woman, as soon as these viruses and bacteria touch you, you just go down. Because of the nature of the act of sex. The woman is more vulnerable than the man. Men are bringing all kinds of things to their wives. Women are bringing all kinds of. These days, the people don't mind if you are married or not. As soon as you tell them I'm married, they say it's you I'm talking to. I'm not talking to your husband. That is where we are. The dispensation of Sodom and Gomorrah has descended on us. God have mercy. Disease, poverty. Most of the financial problems we complain about are a result of sin. Loss of property, loss of lives. Those are the things sin can cause. Number 9, the weakening of the educational system. A lot of the young people in our educational institutes don't learn anymore because of immorality. Here again, you can't talk about it too much. Most of the young ladies don't study. They do something else. Sometimes they run after men the age of their fathers. The young men too don't study because there are women who are prepared to pay them to do all kinds of lewd stuff. Some time ago, it was very comfortable to think that these things were happening just in the world. But I tell you, in the church, the thing is there. National and domestic insecurity. Bondage. Some of the things you start, you may never be able to come out of them the rest of your life. You may experiment a certain sinful act, and for the rest of your life, it's stuck with you. Number 12, weakening of the family structure. Number 13, instability and lack of concentration. When you walk in sin, before long, you can't concentrate on your ministry, can't concentrate on your family, can't concentrate on your job. Instability, lack of concentration. 14, demonization, witchcraft. He that is joined to a harlot becomes one flesh. And if you make a mistake and sleep with a woman who is a witch, you become a witch. You sleep with a wizard, you become one. And some of these men, the kind of things they do before they come and pick you up, the things they talk to, before they come and sleep with you. Some of the men you the ladies sleep with, if you see them in the night, before they came to you today, if you knew where they were yesterday, and the beast they were talking to in the night, you would never undress your body for them. By the time they are sleeping with you, they and the Satan they worship are both sleeping with you. And you think you are sleeping with a human being, but wouldn't it be B? Daytime he's a human being, in the night he's something else. And the way they feed that occultism is to use immorality. So you are used like a petrol to keep the flames of the occultism and the witchcraft ablaze. Wrong marriage. Sin leads to wrong marriage, because sometimes you sin and sin and sin, and before you realize, the sin commits you. So you marry the wrong partner through hasty marriage, and then polygamy. Sometimes you sin after some time, a child has come into the thing, then another child has come into the thing. Many then, okay, second wife, third wife, my father said, made the fifth class substitution bench or even football class almost sub bench. So now you have become sub. So the born again believer has to go to church with two wives, and the pastor can't say anything. And the born again sister has to go to church with a rival, and it's cool. Am I talking to somebody at all? Yes. Polygamy, incompatibility. People are in marriages, they are struggling. They don't know how they even got into it. Here, the man and the woman, they just can't agree, because they don't even know how they got into that marriage. Number 16 is bitterness and disillusionment. Bitterness, disillusionment. When you sin and sin and sin, after some time, if we keep sinning, we become bitter and we become disillusioned. Number 17, unfruitfulness, because sin will make us unfruitful in the work we do. Number 18, establishment of soul ties, especially when it comes to sexual life. There is a saying I say in our church all the time. I say, if you are in the church and more than one man has seen your nakedness in that church, change your church. You are not supposed to be walking here. And if in one city, especially as a small town, 3 men have seen your nakedness, change your town. And if you are a man in a church and you have seen more than the nakedness of one woman in your church, you are an abuser of women. You are not supposed to take women for granted like that. Sometimes some of the brothers, they'll sleep with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then they choose one and marry. And there's confusion in the church. And the other 4 become bitter and they are sitting in the church. And brother is comfortable either preaching or singing, or the most annoying one, leading prayer warriors. Burka, 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 burka. There's another saying I say in our church. I say, church, can we have a kind of church where people's wives are coming to church and the men are not afraid because they know their wife is safe? Can we have a church where husbands are coming to church and their wives are safe? Can we have a church where a brother can give a sister a lift and the husband says, bye-bye, I will see you guys in 3 hours time, and he's not afraid? Can we have a church like that? A holy church? Can we have a church where the pastor is counseling the woman alone and the husband can leave them alone and go and come back after 7 hours and knows that he's coming from a woman who is intact? Help me, Lord. Somebody clap your hands. Help me. Help me. me, Lord. This is my New Year's message to you. This is my New Year's message. Establishment of soul ties. Where sometimes if you are not careful, you do all these kind of things with some of the people. When you marry, they are still in your mind. And for years, you are struggling with your marriage because you and somebody did something that cannot be dissolved. Because you see, we have deceived ourselves to think that marriage is when you come to do. It's too much. We have deceived ourselves into thinking that marriage is when you come and stand here and say, for better, for worse, and then you exchange rings. Let me ask you a question. If you come and exchange rings with a man today, you've exchanged rings, you go to your hotel room, sleep once, and then you travel, and you go and meet your ex-boyfriend, and this ex-boyfriend, you didn't exchange ring, but you were sleeping together for 5 years. Which of them is your husband? I'm just asking you, which of them will you be closer to? Which of them are you more intimate with? Which of them are you one flesh with? The one you slept with one night with rings, or the one you slept with 5 years without a ring, but your heart is still in him? So we can become polygamists at heart. You can clap if you want. Listen, keep yourself pure until you are committed. Because sometimes by the time you are committed, you look behind you and the mess is too much. Let me stop quickly so that next time I call you will come. Number 19, cheap compromises leading to the trading of the future. Sin can make you compromise your future like Esau. And after that, you've thrown away your future and you can never get it. How do I become free from immorality? Number 1 is openness. Talk to somebody. That is why we have EAM. Talk to somebody. Sometimes in your church, if you talk to somebody, maybe everybody will see you. But as for here, we are eating breakfast. Talk to somebody. Tomorrow you can go to church and sing. Nobody will know. Because you talk to the people in a restaurant during a breakfast meeting. But talk to somebody. Get somebody you trust. Get somebody who is elderly. Get somebody who is matured. And get somebody who by the time you talk to the person will not make you worse off. Because there are people too, you talk to them, they take advantage of your weakness. Number 2, deliverance. Some of the sins is because of a demon, and the demon has to be cast out. Number 3, always remember it is now or never. Attach a sense of urgency to your desire to be free. Number 4, the word. Go back to the word. You saw the way I was interpreting 1 John 3:9. Go back to the word. Number 4, be filled with the Holy Ghost. Number 6, pure associations. Pure associations. Make sure you get associations, friendships that are pure. And then number 7, engagement in purpose. Engage yourself with your purpose. And when you do this, you shall be pure. So as I look at the year, my friend Dr. Mensa Hotable said, it is a year of righteousness. I agree with him. But in all the righteousness that we talk about, it should be now or never. Now or never. Let's do the right things now. And you can imagine if all of us become pure. I didn't come to speak to you because I wanted to talk down on you or just make us feel bad. But it's a need. I may not even be speaking to those of us in this room, but I may be speaking